right, so any questions before we flip it around? All right, so let's see how lucky we get here. All right, that's pretty good. Okay. And of course, you want to press in the middle to tighten that up, or at the same time, you can go ahead and bring up your tailstock, put a little bit of pressure on there, and you can tighten this down. And notice that tenon's a little bit thicker than the one I passed around. A little taller.
Wait, do you have multiple spacers, or that one pretty much rules?
I do have multiples. Yeah, I made 3/4, I made a half, I made a quarter, just depending.
Side, diameter-wise?
No, right now I just have that one.
Okay, and that's fine.
With what I did so far, yeah.
No, I mean, like if you were doing other projects, that would be okay also, even if the bowl had been a lot smaller.
Yes.
Because you're just starting it out.
Yeah, I actually used that, or if you were here for the small dishes I did, I used that same one. But it does make it more difficult because it's bigger, and then that small dish is inside of that diameter, so then that was more of a challenge to move it out. Make sure you tighten that back up. So now we're at the part of, I think we will go ahead and, I tend to like to do the center first, the center bowl. And for that, since we'll kind of stick with the bowl, I just made myself up some templates. And then for this, I just go ahead and we are going to clear. All right. Ooh, that's going to be close. All right, so that's about center. So this bowl, is coming out to here. That's the final. You have to think about how deep this is going to go. So we're going to just slowly, take out the inside there. And then, of course, your outside, we probably will go ahead and round this off so that I kind of know, but then, you're going to end up with your outside bowl out here, a lot shorter, and then your inside bowl is going to be inside there. That's pretty much the bowl there. Now for this, I can't so much use the tailstock, so I feel that we are on here pretty strong. Hopefully nobody will have to try to catch it.
You might want to get rid of most of the mass before you do that center.
Yes and no, yeah. I will clean up some of the outside. Good idea. And also a good idea to go ahead and see if we can't get rid of that piece that could be a little trouble.
You do have a big crack here too, I'm seeing on this side, right there.
Yes.
Be aware.
Yep. Thank you, sir. take out some of that outside.
So would you bring the tailstock up now?
Yes, thank you. It cannot hurt to have it. You're gonna make a great wood turner.
It just means I've thrown a bowl already.
Probably should have had this thing on low torque. And I really don't want to throw that at you guys.
Sometimes it's like, all right, it's time to get a chisel out.
Oh. All right, it's gone. All right, so that's a lot of heavy weight. There is one reason of leaving mass here, and that's as you start to take down this outside piece. As we turn that, we want to go ahead and have enough mass that we're getting a good turn on that lower bowl. We do about a 1/2 inch at a time, sand it, move on, and then don't go back with the gouge until we kind of get there. So.
You sand and then cut again?
No, sorry. Yeah, cut it. Get the best cut you possibly can, and then sand, and then don't go back to that section again, and then move on to the next one. Make sense, or did I say that wrong?
Tough on your gouges when you have embedded grit where you've just sanded.
Well, I'm gonna go past the sanding. Yeah, leave. Okay. Okay. You've got grit on the wood that you've sanded, so then you're getting back on your gouge. Okay. Good point. All right, so let's go ahead and start our center bowl there. And this is the Bedan.
Why are you using that versus a bowl gouge?
It's easy cutting. Yeah, just straight in. I'll switch to the bowl gouge as well. Yeah, you could use either one. And at some point here, you have to start thinking about your bowl that's going to go in there, because of course you just can't take it all out, or you just have a big hole there to put it in. So now let's switch over to the bowl gouge and try to, start looking back at my template and making decisions. I can see I've still, got plenty to go, so it's plenty of opportunity. And be careful not to poke yourself in the arm with that. And it kind of feels like my bowl is getting away from me as far as my design here. Go back and check. So it's, how about we leave this bowl sitting a little high. Let me take out a couple more.
What size is that, Gary?
1/2 inch. All right, so that's going to get us close for today. And what I come back with is just do a little bit of scraping inside. It's not a bad finish, but come back and do just a little bit of scraping here. All right, so I think we can live with that. This one's going to be not an exact match for that bowl, for the glass bowl, but we're going to call it good for today. So it's going to sit in there just up a little bit. I like it. Turner's choice. All right, so that did get us close over here. But now let's go ahead and come back. And then now this is where we'll come back in and we can bring up tailstock again, just for safety. And since we have that inside, I don't really want to mess it up. Just have yourself some extra wood that, of course, you've left over from other projects. You can put that in there as kind of the hold it in place, because you don't want to embed your metal tools into that wood, or you'll have to live with it.
So it's just a piece of wood pushed up against the large
Yeah,
spacer?
just a spacer. I think they make other ones too, rubber duckies or something. You could buy all kind of things too, but a piece of wood is pretty cheap. Leftover. All right, so now I need to start working on, well, I need to work on this outside a little bit because I've kind of boogered it up, or need to go ahead and, come up with the size that we're going to do. So let me get back over here and let's see if we can decide the outer edge. Yeah, I may have just had it cranked a little tight. We take just one more cut across there. So it kind of starts to, so likely our, this is the bowl coming up. So likely then it'll be, the thickness will be above here. So then the rest of this will start coming out now. Catch. No charge. Watch for these sharp edges out here too. I kind of created that I was going through there, so it's best if you have sharp edges like that. You definitely don't want to leave them. All right, now I'm going to start working on the inside of the bowl. Yeah, that piece of wood is what's causing that noise. So now this is where you start, I'm having to take this out here. So I've kind of got some mass in my way, but I don't want to take away too much mass, because as you're taking away that mass, then this wood starts to get the chance to vibrate. It's going to start moving, for 20, 30, 40 years, that wood was well supported. We're taking away all the support, so that wood's going to be able to flex. Once it starts flexing, you're trying to cut this. If that's flexing, then you're putting the tool against it, you're going to start having issues with it, or not getting that smooth cut. So So we're starting to work that. Let's go ahead and take away a little more. Questions, or to get the idea? Just hurry up and get it done, right? See if I have a different piece of. Nope. See, I already made a little problem there.
Describe the problem again.
Little indentation inside that piece of wood, and kind of vibrating around, kind of 80 grit sandpaper. Get this further out. See if that works any different. All right, so now it's just a matter of continuing to check this thickness. Last thing you want to do is make this a picture frame on the outside and cut it loose. So we'll just keep checking the thickness and watching those wormholes, because one of them's actually, this is going to end up being thicker than really should be because of that wormhole that's about to come up. Yeah, so this is gonna be a different design for sure. Come back, shorten that up a little bit. All right, let's take out some more mass and continue. And this is where I would go ahead and start sanding this so that I sand it and never go back to it. We'll skip sanding today just to help everybody out. Let me give a little better cut there. All right. Adjust your tool rest, make sure you keep it in nice and safe for you.
When you start cutting, it looks like, and it may just be because of the monitor, it looks like you're taking a lot more off and taking less off as you get down.
Yeah, I think I've got a tendency here, I'm kind of spinning. Eventually I will be cutting back in, but yeah, it's probably just the way that I'm kind of curving back to this target, getting some out of the way. And I've got to kind of, since I've got this pretty good indent over here, I now have to continue watching that to make sure, again, I don't go through the bottom. But once again, take off some that way, then come back and start to think about still watching that bottom curve, and then I need to start mimicking that curve inside here. I don't know if you could hear, you can kind of hear some of that chatter. I think it's actually getting to the point that that outside one's chattering. I would usually go ahead and go back with a scraper a little bit on that too. For 1 and 2 scraper, sandpaper, get that cleaned up. But let's go ahead and move forward on this one. Now you're getting to the spot also of marrying that inner bowl to the outer bowl. So of course you don't want to take the whole inner bowl off here, but at some point you want to kind of, blend them together. And I'm getting closer in there, so bring in your tool rest. This is also where you may start to see a pattern and you may like it by stopping at a certain spot. That's how I ended up on this one here. Ended up stopping and kind of ended up being, oh, let me leave that as part of the design. Not planned, but just kind of happens. And I'm kind of seeing something similar here. You've got the option of leaving that or taking it out. You got the tool in your hand, so it's your choice. I'm kind of thinking I'm going to leave it. I may go back and clean up that first one. And let's leave those. So this is looking, what do you think? Leave it like it is? All right, I think we'll leave it like they're all different. It's whatever you decide to turn. This one with some sandpaper, you knock off these edges, smooth it over just a little bit. Maybe we'll just take and round some of these. We'll round some of those off and maybe leave that as is. When you're at home in your own shop, you could keep going as far as you want to with this. Matter of sanding, finishing. I was going to apply some finish today, but I think you guys kind of know what finish is, so I don't think there's any need to necessarily put some finish on this. But yep, it's got the nice little bit of a defect there, which looks good. It's got some inside there. Those wormholes, you only see them from the bottom side, so just look at the top, not the bottom. And I think let's say that's it.
You can demo your jam chuck method of removing the...
Yes, yep. Yeah, we'll do that next. And
So you just think that's it for that step?
no, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I haven't really, well, I did throw a piece way out there, but. All right, so that was, 2 mountings. So now, since you went with a tenon, you've got to get rid of that tenon. And the easiest way, there's all kind of different ways, but the easiest way I've found is to jam chuck this. Mouse pads work great. So you simply put the mouse pad up there and decide if your chuck's in the right spot, which it looks kind of like it is, the jaws. So let's call that it. Since we have the circle from before, that does help in this process. I have the indentation of where the guide was in there before. I didn't use the point, so I don't have that, but I do have enough there to actually get this up there, because you do want it centered, because now you're going to be going back and taking it off, and you don't want the thing lopsided or anything. So let's get that as even as we can. Let's get that locked in place. And then of course it's how tight to go. Tighten it just before you hear it crack. Yeah. And of course, also, this is where you want to take small bites. You don't want to be in a hurry with this. Just let the tool take the wood away. You can even go with a smaller tool, so you don't get carried away. So how about we do that? And since I remounted it, turn your speed back down before you turn it on, and then work it back up to whatever speed you're comfortable with. Just make sure we're, oop, didn't want to go too tight. And since we have this jam chuck on there, it's best to apply pressure as much as you can towards the jam chuck. And then at some point you're coming back across. And you'll keep getting closer and closer, taking out what you can. And you hope a wormhole doesn't show up right inside there. And at some point, you stop. And then you take it off the lathe. You want to try not to tear that piece out, because then you're going to have some torn grain there possibly. So once you have it out, then you can carefully try to cut that off of there, and it'd be nice to try to protect the surface so that you're not doing any more damage than you want. You cut that piece off, you got a little bit of a nub left. Let's do a little bit of sanding for this one. Usually 120. I tell you, that worked perfect. Good thing Buzz hadn't started cleaning up yet.
Don't think I have to worry about that.
And that's how you take off the bottom. So that's part one of the demo today. Does anybody want to see this one? Pass it around. And
So you go through the grits on that, of course.
yeah, I'd go through the grits. I mean, at home, yeah, there'd be complete sanding all the way through the process. I'd get it sanded and, you know, make other decisions and whatnot, but that gets you a bowl inside of a bowl.